Details of Pillar 1 remain to be negotiated. Maybe it will be, ready in the spring of 2022, and try to determine at that point what's necessary for implementation. We see the tax agreement as being strongly in the interests of all members of the European Union and the world more generally. I will use the opportunity to try to explain why we think that the few remaining European Union countries that have not endorsed the inclusive framework, why we think it's in the world's interest and their interests to be part of the agreement.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen putting a timeline on when the Biden administration hopes Congress can take up two key portions from the global tax agreement endorsed by the G20 over the weekend. The deal that would impose a global minimum tax rate on corporations of at least 15%. Joining us now to discuss this is Bloomberg editor Tony Czuczka. So, Tony, how difficult will this be? Has the G20 gotten the process any closer?
Well, the difficulty is going to be, or one of the difficulties is certainly going to be the U.S. Congress, and that was what Janet Yellen was talking about just now in Venice. I mean, there's two parts to this deal, and the more difficult one is has to do with redistributing how or revamping how companies and corporations are taxed worldwide. Now, that's something that where we got a timeline for the first time, really, in some detail from the Treasury Secretary, who says that this could go into next year. And of course, you have to remember there's always a political calendar in the United States too, which is that there are midterm elections next year, and the Democratic majority for this entire project is always a fragile thing.
So Yellen's next stop is to Brussels. How does the EU fit into the big picture here?
Well, that has to do with the countries in the EU, which does not have a unified position on this. The countries that have benefited from low tax policies, the one that always comes to mind is Ireland, which has done very well off of this and sort of fueled economic development that way. That's always been very controversial inside the EU. I mean, certainly countries like Germany have been eager to sort of rein that in, and what Yellen needs is somehow for the EU to get that together and to get united so that the entire project can proceed. And like I was saying, I mean, there will probably be considerable pressure on these countries inside the EU from some of the big powers, the big economic powers in the European Union.